King Felipe of Spain faced angry demonstrators today as he visited flood-affected areas on the country's east coast. People are upset about what they say was the government's poor response to last week's deadly floods. At least 214 people died. It's Europe's worst flood-related disaster since the 1960s. Spain's president is sending another 5,000 soldiers to the region to help with the cleanup and the searches. 2,500 troops are already deployed. Macrae Morse is a Canadian living in Spain, and he told us what it was like for him when the floods hit.
When the red alert came from the authorities that there was a dangerous situation, in Valencia it was very calm and tranquil, and I'd been working late. So by the time I tried to leave work, there was no way home. Everything was closed. The buses were closed. I even walked over to the bridge thinking I could walk back to where my car was parked on the other side, south of the city. And, when I was there, I could see the floodwaters rising, and I could see there was absolutely no way I was going to be able to walk back to where my car was parked. So I went back into the city. I found a place to stay, which was very difficult. There was almost no rooms left or beds left in the city. And then the next day, I went around lunchtime. I started my journey back. And because, again, everything was closed, the roads were all completely blocked, I had to walk from the city about 12 kilometers back to my home. And, as soon as you cross south of the river, these are my pictures, this was the kind of things that I saw. It's just absolutely devastating, mud everywhere. People outside of their houses looking shell-shocked and frightened, and just the sheer carnage with the cars, as you can see on some of these images as well. There were cars piled up all over the place. My own car is destroyed because it was parked in one of the right in the middle of the flood zone. So I found it, but it's absolutely wasn't drivable. It's really, what was really the big contrast, I think, was in Valencia, it was like everything was normal. There was nothing going on. I mean, there was a bit of wind, there were a few broken branches from trees, but it really didn't barely rain. And I think that was quite common here, that a lot of the communities that were hit very hard hadn't had rain themselves. So all this rain had come up from the mountains. And, most of the people received the warnings, way too late. So by the time they received the warnings that there was a red alert from a safety perspective, they were already dealing with the flood, and the flood was over there.
That was Macrae Morse, a Canadian living in Spain.